Have you ever prayed and felt like your words hit the ceiling? You did everything right. You stayed faithful. You waited. You believed. Yet nothing changed. No signs, no answers, just silence. This is the story of someone who almost gave up because God went quiet. There was a season when life felt heavier than usual. Every morning began with hope and ended with disappointment. They woke up tired not just in the body but in the soul, bills piling up, dreams delayed, doors closing one by one. They prayed at night with tears in their eyes, whispering, "God, please just say something." But heaven stayed silent. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months, and the silence began to feel personal. They started asking the questions we all ask in secret. Did I do something wrong? Am I being punished? Did God forget me? They watched others win while they waited. Others celebrate while they struggled. Others testify while their own life felt like a question mark. And slowly, faith began to feel exhausting. One night, sitting alone in the dark, they whispered, "I don't think I can do this anymore." Not because they stopped believing in God, but because believing was starting to hurt. They expected thunder, a miracle, a breakthrough, but again nothing, just silence. What they didn't know was this: silence is not absence. Silence is not abandonment. Silence is often preparation. Because while they thought God was ignoring them, He was actually working where they couldn't see. Behind the scenes, strength was being built, character was being shaped, patience was being formed. God was teaching them how to stand even when nothing makes sense. One morning, something changed. Not their situation, not their bank account, not their circumstances. Their perspective changed. They realized something powerful. God never promised life would be easy. He promised He would never leave. They remembered the scripture, "Be still and know that I am God." Not be busy, not be anxious, be still. And for the first time in a long time, they stopped demanding answers. They started trusting the process. Days passed, still no miracle, still no sudden breakthrough, but there was peace, a peace that didn't make sense, a peace that didn't depend on outcomes, and slowly strength returned. Then one day, quietly, unexpectedly, things began to shift. A door opened where one had always been closed. Help came from an unexpected place. Hope returned not loudly but gently, and they realized, if God had answered earlier, they would not have been ready. If God had spoken sooner, they would not have grown. The silence wasn't rejection. It was protection. God was not late, God was precise. They looked back at the season they hated the most and realized it built the strongest version of them. The waiting taught endurance, the pain taught compassion, the silence taught trust. And now, standing stronger than before, they understood. Sometimes God is silent because He's doing something bigger than you asked for. Sometimes the delay is preparing you for a blessing you can sustain. Sometimes the quiet is proof that God trusts you to keep walking by faith. If you are watching this right now and heaven feels quiet, this message is for you. God sees you. God knows the weight you carry. God has not forgotten your prayers. Your silence is not your ending. Hold on. What God is building in the quiet will speak louder than anything you've ever imagined.